Alright guys, and welcome to another video. Today we're going to be talking about all of the changes to the old world of Azeroth that will come with Wrath Classic. I think there's some interesting added content that many people have actually forgotten about, lots of quality of life changes when it comes to dungeons, and some very welcome changes to questing and experience points. Oh, and by the way, if you want to become an absolute legend, please throw me a quick cheeky sub. I want to smash 100k subs to get that silver play button, so I would really appreciate the help. And if you guys don't already know, my ultimate WOTLK quest list to get to level 71 before Northrend is now available to all members. All you have to do is become a member, throw me a quick DM on Discord, you'll find that into the description of all my videos, with a little evidence of you've actually become a member with your email address, and I'll get you that quest list. But anyway, let's jump in. So I think the first thing that most people have forgotten is there's actually a new Horde mount farm available, which is basically the equivalent of the Winterspring Frost Sabers in Winterspring. The quest chain starts in Ungoro Crater, and you have to essentially raise your own little raptor chick. You have to do the daily quests every single day for 20 days to make your raptor grow up, but eventually you will get a Venomhide Raptor mount. You will also need 20 rune cloth, 20 rugged leather and 20 Venomhide teeth, and 80 gold at the end of that quest line. Now, a number of long attunement and boss summon quests have basically been removed and are just simply no longer needed. For example, the Onyxia attunement has totally gone. It will be interesting to see if you actually keep old Onyxia for the WOTLK launch, or remove it later in the patch, or remove it at launch, who knows. But the attunement has been removed. You also no longer need dowsers in Molten Core to unlock Ragnaros when you kill the boss. It just gets doused automatically. Bob's your uncle. Mallet is no longer required to summon Gazrilla in the Zul'Farrak instance, so you can very easily pick up that carrot on a stick quest in Thousand Needles, run over to Zul'Farrak and get that quest done without having to mess around in the hinterlands. You also no longer need the Scepter of Celebras for the portal to Inner Maradon, because it's just available to everyone. And the same goes for the Seal of Ascension for Upper Blackrock Spire. You don't have to go through that long quest chain, you can just go up to Upper Blackrock Spire straight away from Lower Blackrock Spire without any requirements. XP and questing has changed a lot in Classic Wrath. The amount of experience required to get to max level has been reduced. Undocumented changes say it's 30%, but it could be different. Quest experience has also been drastically increased. It hasn't been increased by a fits-all percentage, because if you look at different quests from Classic Wowhead database and a WOTLK database, there's a lot of inconsistencies. For example, the Red Silk Bandanas quest used to give 1250 XP, now gives 1900, and then Pamela's Doll 2800 up to over 4000. So, long story short, you get a lot more XP from your quests. The old world leveling is going to be much faster, especially with heirlooms. More transportation options have also been added to Azeroth, so it's much easier to get around now. For example, the Stormwind Harbour was added in Classic Wrath, which means you no longer have to take a boat from Darkshore to Menethil Harbour and then run through the whole of wetlands and get killed by crocodiles. You can just get a boat straight from Darkshore all the way to Stormwind. There's also a Zeppelin that would take you from Thunderbluff to Orgrimmar and back, including the added Zeppelins that will take you to Northrend outside Tristful Glades and Orgrimmar. Loads of post boxes have been added to the capital cities. The open world zones have much more graveyards, spirit healers now, and also some cheeky flight paths. Most zones get another spirit healer, but just look at how Classic WoW Desolace is compared to Classic Wrath. Now that is a lot more spirit healers, because originally there was just one for the entire zone, and that was painful. There's always going to be a cheeky mailbox closer to the auction house in most cities. They also added some cheeky flight paths as well. I really need to stop saying the word cheeky, don't I? So there's a new one in Western Plaguelands in the Bulwark, and in Eastern Plaguelands there's one basically in the western part of the zone near the river. You'll probably remember in Classic WoW and in TBC actually, the irritating areas that dismount you like Booty Bay and Blackrock Mountain. Well, these will no longer dismount you. You can run around Booty Bay on your mount and in Blackrock Mountain, and this also includes boats and zeppelins and similar areas. For those of you thinking you can easily farm insane gold by soloing Classic WoW raids on your Death Knight or something, unfortunately the gold has been nerfed down to about 50 to 70% less. Probably still a decent gold farm, but you won't be getting 400 gold per boss kill. Just a quickie now, there's some new snazzy loading screens been added to the Azeroth zones, featuring the leaders of every race from that particular zone, well, technically continent. For number 9, we've got an extremely important addition that every single Horde player is going to be jumping out of their seat for. Horde players can now finally do the chicken quest in Westfall for the chicken pet. Summoning stones have had their restrictions totally changed, now you just need to be level 15, and that's essentially it. Anyone of any level can now summon anyone, they just have to be level 15. Now let's quick fire some little changes. First of all, we've got Newman's Landing. It used to be quite difficult to get to this area, it's in Dunmoreau, but actually on the coast of that zone, which I know sounds a bit weird, so you had to like swim there. Now you can very easily get there from Stormwind Harbour, you can fish there now, and there's also a vendor. So it's just a nice little chill place to basically level your fishing. Obviously Nax has been removed and the entrance has just been replaced by a huge plague cauldron. The big purple dome where Dalaran once was is now a crater, obviously, because now Dalaran is in the Crystal Song Forest. King Varian has replaced Bolvar. This also means you cannot get the Onyxia Achievement questline like I mentioned earlier. Many troll settlements have also had their mobs changed, so the troll mobs have basically been updated to look a bit more like trolls do in Wrath of the Lich King. There's been some added roof stalkers in Orgrimmar, so the Alliance can't jump on the roofs and go and gank people in Orgrimmar. In the level 1 to 5 zones for all of the races, mostly the mobs now are neutral mobs, so they can't chain pull, just to make it easier for people when they're starting out. Also, the wolves in Northshire Abbey have been changed to diseased wolves for some reason. Undercity Guardians have been replaced by Korkron Overseers, which is basically just like a generic orc warrior looking mob. You see more of them in the Cataclysm revamp, to be honest, it's probably just a preemptive thing. The Dreadlord Varimathras, if I'm pronouncing that correctly, has also been removed and replaced by, again, another kind of generic orc mob, and Sylvanas has obviously changed with her updated model. There is some quests that have been added, but I can only really find one. I do remember more being added, like looting pillows in Searing Gorge. And lastly, you may notice closer to the end of Wrath of the Lich King, or when Wrath launches, to be honest, if they forget that this is actually in the 3.3.5 client, there will be earthquakes everywhere in the old zones, because these started triggering randomly when you're running around Azeroth after the Cataclysm announcement. And there you go guys, those are all of the changes to the old Azeroth that are coming in Classic Wrath. If you haven't already, please check out my second channel, I'm uploading quite a few videos over there at the moment. Soon I'm going to have some cool retrospective videos over there about some of my favourite games that are not related to WoW. But anyway guys, my name is MetaGoblin, to the next video, ciao.